Okay, fantastic. Let's start, and we're going to start right in with our rest assess. So we are going to be doing, again, some hip work, and I want you guys to just start laying on your mat with your hands by your side, and you're going to lay nice and flat as best you can. So feel the ground just underneath you, and start with some nice, long, deep breaths. If you want to put some music on in the background, I would suggest very quiet music, but something that might feel like you can listen to it, or that doesn't distract, but that it's just kind of calming to you as well. So head down, taking several focused breaths just to allow your body to come to a place of rest. Feel that belly rise and fall. Good. And so what I want you to do is, again, we're going to close the eyes as best you can if you're comfortable with that. And I want you to go inside the body, and we're going to start at the head. And I want you to feel where the weight of the head is. I want you to feel the weight of the head back into the ground, but also notice if by just feeling the head, if you feel like your head is off center, even though you feel like you put it down flat. I want you to notice if the weight of your head is directly behind the bridge of your nose, or if it feels more into your neck or more weighted towards the top of your head. Letting your head drop to the left and to the right shoulders. Just feel how that head turns. Notice if there's any clicking or popping in the neck or shoulders, or if as you let your head drop, the shoulder follows you. Bring your head back to center. Now we're going to go over the 3 main areas that stuck stress likes to live and the 4 common imbalances. So our shoulders are our first area, shoulder girdle. And ideally the weight of the shoulder should feel even down into the arms and down to the farthest part down into the rib cage. But what happens is that we get tight and sore, and so maybe our shoulder blades are digging into the ground. Or maybe we're feeling a hollowing between our shoulder blades, or all the weight is up on our back, kind of just below the neck. The second area that stuck stress likes to live is in the diaphragm. As you take a breath in, does it feel like your whole back wants to come off the ground? Does it feel like you have a wailing back arch? Ideally, your back should be almost flat to the ground with your navel right there, starting at your navel to the top of your pelvis, a small back arch. Taking another focused breath, taking your attention into the third area stuck stress lives, which is your pelvis. Ideally, the weight would be on evenly weighted butt cheeks, but when there's stuck stress living, we tend to have our weight right in the center, kind of on our sacrum. You may feel your hamstrings not touching the ground, or your feet may feel disorganized on the ground. All 3 of these areas are indicator that maybe there's dehydration, there's just general stress in the system, or there's an imbalance in the system someplace. Dividing the body in half now, check the both sides of the body. We're looking for your reflexive balance. Your balance when you're not paying attention, what stabilizes, supports, and protects you. And I want you to feel if one side feels longer than the other, or if one side feels more sunk into the ground than the other. Taking another focused breath, just allow the body to take in what it's feeling. And then go ahead and slowly slide your feet in. And if you noticed any of those things, we will be coming back and doing reassessments so that you can notice what's going on and start making connections to how the body's feeling. We're going to start by getting into a rebalance technique. So let's go up onto the midline of the roller. So lift up your right hip, lift up onto the roller, and lay all the way back. So you're from your head to your hips is evenly weighted on the roller. We're going to do a short rebalancing sequence tonight so we can get into those hips and lower part of the body more tonight. But in this rebalancing section, this gentle rocking, what you always should do if you get on the roller midline is just balance out the right and left sides of the body. Feel how the body moves on the roller. Do you feel like you're all shifted off to one side? Do Do you feel like the body is destabilized immediately on top of the roller? Maybe you just stay there, let your forearms settle, and just hold. You just feel the body settle into the roller instead of doing any rocking if you're feeling kind of disrupted or disturbed. Taking some nice even breaths. Begin to notice how your head settles into the roller, the mid back, where your navel hits, and how the tailbone kind of settles into the roller. Notice if there's any hot spots or areas. That's another way to do an assessment along the spine. From here, let's take the thumb to the navel and the index fingers touch the pelvis and begin to tuck and tilt the pelvis. Now, being aware and being connected enough too that you're not pushing into those feet or arching the back to lift into the tilt. But when you tuck, you're just allowing the pelvis to sink in. And when you tilt, you're just returning to level really on the roller. So tuck and tilt the pelvis. Feel the back moving. So you're differentiating the top half of the body from the bottom half of the body. You're noticing if you can move your pelvis evenly, or maybe one side feels like it's hiking up faster than the other. Notice if you feel less balance when you tuck and tilt. Or when you tuck or tilt, do you lose balance? These are just things to be aware of and things that you can recheck again. Taking your left hand to the top of your chest, begin to breathe into all 6 sides of the body like a 3-dimensional breath. Exhale. The resonating sound of that breath will help connect you deeper into your vagus nerve. Exhaling. And again, inhaling and exhaling. Inhale, reach those arms out towards your knees. You're going to kind of have your hands up just about in line with your navel. So not too far down towards your legs and not over the center of your chest, but kind of in between the chest and the navel. And as we open the arms wide, don't let the arms come high towards the head. Just open the arms wide as if you're getting ready to receive a very large hug, and then close that hug up. Inhale, pull the arms wide and open. As you let those arms drop just below your shoulder line, just feel that tensional pull coming into the biceps, the forearms, maybe all the way to the thumb. You may even find that there's some tingling all the way down, maybe even into the pinky finger or the middle finger, and then come back together. As you'd like, you can add the exhalation, just engaging the core a little bit deeper. Exhale. Inhale, open wide. Hold just below the body line and begin to bend and flex the wrists. So you're allowing the elbows to drop slightly towards the floor, but not touching the floor. And you're just flexing and extending the wrists. It looks beautiful. Breathing. And then pause and let your arms drop into the ground. And then extend your right leg and just roll off the roller. And we're going to do a real quick reassess. So your head is back on the ground, arms are towards the sky again, and you're just laying back. And you're noticing now again. You're noticing if your body feels more level right and left side, if you take that line right through the midline of the body. You're noticing if your head weight feels more centered. Your shoulders, maybe the weight of your shoulders is coming more evenly distributed across those shoulder blades into those arms. How's the midline of your body? Did you affect change into your diaphragm, into your lower back? And that pelvis, does it feel a little bit more even, a little bit more level, like you're sitting on your butt cheeks? Sometimes it's difficult to notice if your hamstrings are touching the ground or not, but that's a really great way to notice that everything is getting level. It doesn't matter how big or small your backside is, your hamstrings should be able to touch the ground. Slide your feet in so your shins are vertical and just rest there for just a moment. And then we'll roll to one side and bring yourselves all the way up. So we're going to do a back of thigh or shear. So you're going to take that roller on an upright position, and you're going to bring your hands behind you. So the next several things are going to be upright, so you can see what I'm doing. Hopefully you don't have to change your videos too much or anything like that. And just begin to open and close the legs. If you prefer to lay back on your back, you can do so. I just want you to feel those legs. I want this to be something that you feel like you can do no matter where you're at. And sometimes laying on the ground, you feel like it's a little conspicuous. But sometimes laying on the ground also feels a little bit more like self-care. So let those knees go wide and pull them in. You're allowing for the muscle to get pulled against the bone. 2 more times. And then pause. And then let's just move the right leg. Think of that nice drawing motion. Depending on how tight your tights are or loose, you're going to get some more friction in there as well. And then just do the left leg. And just allow that muscle to get pulled. We're going to go ahead and pause. Just let the tissue respond. And then let's move the roller down. We're going to go all the way down to about 3/4 of the way down the calf. So you're on the calf muscle, and then you're just going to begin to do that nice even gliding. So notice my calves kind of on the front side of the roller. It's not directly on top of the roller. It's rolling and then pulling to the front of the roller. So we get that kind of that pull against the muscle itself. If your heels immediately touch the ground, you may need to move the roller down a little bit. And then go ahead and pause, and then just roll the ankles. And you'll feel that little shearing there. And then let's pedal back and forth, or march, or knead back and forth, and push and pull into the muscle. If your arms are getting tired and you're not liking being up any longer, you can lay back on your back and do the same thing. Go ahead and pause. And we're going to take the right ankle, place it over the left. And we're just going to do that gliding on just the left leg. Now I'm rolling my knees in and out, and I'm trying to find maybe some more nuggets of fun in there. How about that? We'll call it nuggets of fun. Keep that left foot relaxed as best you can. And you probably found one nice little nugget in there. And I want you to pause into that nugget, and I just want you to roll, kind of tip-tock your knees side to side. And just kind of come right up against that little sky, and then pause, roll the left ankle, not the right one so much. Keep that left ankle relaxed, and then pause again and hold. Unlace the legs, and then we're going to do the other side. So cross the left ankle over the right, and begin to glide as you roll the knee up and around. So I'm kind of stirring. The roller moved a little bit. I just had to readjust the roller. Good. Again, I found a little bit of a tight spot inside, and I'm going to pause right up against, and I'm going to roll my ankle right up against that spot, and then I'm going to roll side to side right up against that ankle, or that little tight spot on the calf. Good. Go ahead and pause again. Unlace the legs, and then begin to knead one more time. Both legs kneading back and forth. So dehydration into the calves, we can get a lot of tension in the calves, stress. A lot of people hold stress in their calves. So let's release some of that tension, that stress, and then allow that to relax. Go ahead and pause and just take a little breather. Go ahead and remove the roller all the way, and we're going to do a rinsing pattern without the roller. So we're going to go down the top side, up the inside. Down the top side and up the inside. Just allow. Press down and pull up. Press down and pull up. 2 more times. Down and up. And then down and then up. Just a nice rinse pattern there. We're going to go back on the ground and we're going to reassess. What's nice about reassessing after a couple of different sequences is that you can see how that particular sequence affected change. So go ahead and lay back on your back, arms down by your side again. And ideally, we'd have a direct change to the hips potentially. You may feel the hamstrings more, or the feet may just feel more rolled out. Taking a nice deep focused breath. If you'd like to close your eyes again, notice if your rib wall is a little bit more steady to the ground, which is a nice indirect change, or even if your shoulders feel flatter to the ground. Nice open breath. Exhale and release that tension. Good. Hope you're feeling good. Hope you're moving along. Let's slide those feet in and let's roll ourselves up. And we're going to get onto the roller again. This time we're going to get onto the roller on our hips. Okay? Actually, put the roller underneath your thighs, just like this. So the roller's underneath your thighs, and you're going to lay back on the ground. And then holding the roller in place, lift your hips up and just get that roller underneath your hips. From there, just allow the weight of your hips to rest on the roller. You're going to check that position by putting your index finger on your top of your iliac crest and letting your thumbs wrap around. You want to see if the roller is above your pelvis, or reach around and make sure that you can kind of touch the bottom of your cheeks way down there. If you feel like you're level on the roller and it's not too high, bring the right knee and left knee up to a tabletop and just let the knees drop just past the hip line so that the hip flexors aren't being pulled. From here, what I want you to do is I just want you to begin to tuck and tilt the pelvis. See if you can move the pelvis and move the roller without letting the knees move forward and back. Just move the pelvis up and on the roller. The roller will move slightly. This is a small motion, so it may be even hard to see on the video. Pause, slide your hands up the top of your knees like your fingers are the sun, kind of rising over the horizon, and press your knees into your hands and your hands into your knees. Inhale, exhale, and just feel that oppositional pressure. Your hands into your knees and your knees into your hands. From here, I want you to release the tension on the right leg, just lowering it about half the distance to the ground, and then bring that right knee back up. All the while, you're keeping the oppositional hand pressed into the thigh and the thigh into the hand. So the pelvis isn't moving, even though you're releasing alternately the knee from the hand and the hand from the knee. I'm leaving my other hand there just as a place saver because, tap, tap, save, save. Someone else might come in and try to be up against my hand, like as if I'm leaving it there for a high five or something like that. 2 more times, left leg down and back up, and right leg down and back up. 1 more time here, left leg down and back up and hold. Begin to try to tuck and tilt the pelvis now, keeping that pressure on the hands. So this is a little bit more. It's also known as the pelvic tuck and tilt challenge. You're moving that pelvis without moving the knees. 1 more. Pause. A little challenging, tricky move as well. Take your hands off, and I want you to begin to do a SI joint shear. So this SI joint shear is a nice circular motion, more of an ellipse or an elongated circle rather than a big circle, like a big ball circle. And you can begin to go bigger and bigger and even touch the hands that are on the roller. If your hands are touching the roller, use those hands as bumpers. And just allow that breath to lead the movement around. You've gotten a little bit bigger. Now let's get a little bit smaller again. Tighten up that circle. And then go ahead and pause right in the center. And then begin to march those knees back and forth. And just allow the foot to drop almost to the floor, but not quite. Almost to the floor, but not quite. Notice if your rib cage is lifting, can you drop it? Are you holding your breath, or can you breathe gently? Go ahead and pause. Bring both knees together. And then tip both knees towards me and allow your opposite hip to come off the roller. And we'll do that one-sided shearing. You're going to circle those knees around, kind of small this time, because they're right on top of a very small little joint area, that SI joint. Go ahead and pause, and then separate the knees, one after the other. Nice, you guys. Good. And then pause again and just let the tissue respond. And now, kind of like a sponge being wrung out, you're going to allow hydration to come back in. And we're going to go to the other side. So again, circles. Good. Hold. And then do that pause. Do that marching back and forth. Your head can move if you want it to. You just want to keep the ribs down. And then pause again. Bring those knees back to center. And I want you to drop the knees all the way into the belly. Just allow those knees to come in. Good. Bring your knees right back up again. And you're going to lower just your right knee into your chest. As you lower your right knee, you're going to extend your left heel and just draw that right knee close to your chest. You can hold it just with your right hand and then slowly lower that left leg out. So we're going to now try to tuck the pelvis, whereas before you were keeping the pelvis flat on the roller, and pull the belly into the body. Get long in that extended leg, and then point and flex the foot. Push through the heel, get long, pull the right knee in. Now take the left arm overhead, point the left big toe out and away, tuck your pelvis, take a big deep breath in. Exhale, tuck more, tuck, 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 ribs down, and then exhale, bringing the left knee in, and relax for a second. Inhale, take the right leg to the ceiling, left knee is dropped into the chest, and slowly begin to lower the right leg now. And again, flex and point that foot. We're trying to keep the pelvis flexed because we're working on trying to get some movement out of the front line of the body, the psoas, which is attached inside the body down into the inner thigh. And then we're just flexing and pointing that foot. And then reach that big toe out, get long, try to tuck the pelvis, take that right arm over your head. Inhale, exhale, tuck, 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 tuck. And then release, bring everything back in. And then slowly and gently drop one foot then the other. And let's take the roller out from underneath us so you can come back up. Let's do a real quick assessment. Noticing how you're feeling laying on your back. Just feel the back underneath the ground. You may feel like your hips just got sunken into you got sunk into a valley on the ground. And so what happens is when our psoas gets real tight, we get pulled in or pulled forward when we try to elongate those legs. And then we can release it. We can lay real flat, like our diaphragm might feel very low. Shoulders might feel more level to the ground, and head actually might feel more level. Notice if your feet turned out evenly right and left as well. Good. Go ahead and slide your feet in so your shins are vertical. Roll to one side, and we'll come back up, and we're going to be sitting on the top of the roller. So grab that roller and sit right on top of the roller. Good. So think of your posture first. Think of how tall you are. Think of the length. If that's a good space for you, you want to have your little sits bones, the base of your pelvis off the roller. You're kind of sitting back, but not all the way. You're not coming up onto the lower back here. So from here, you're just going to have your hands out in front, and you're just going to press back and pull in, just like you're on a swing. And I want you to think of using your abdomen more than using your hands or your feet. So keep the weight on your hands and feet light. A couple more times. Almost like a rinsing pass to begin with, but just gliding underneath us. If the roller moves, just readjust it. Go ahead and pause, and then we're going to take our hands behind us, and you're going to go onto more of the sacrum of the back, and then again, move that roller. So now you're not going underneath the bottom side. You're more on the sacrum. Hands are out wide. Elbows are slightly bent, so you're not putting a lot of load into the hands. And I want you to look at your navel, and I want you to try to pull through your abdomen. This is a little bit of a sneaky core thing. So you're not going past the SI joints really, and you're not going below the sacrum. Remember that sacrum is the triangle space in the mid part of the pelvis. Two more, press back, and then come in and press back. And from there, I just want you to shift to one side. So you're just going to shift your weight to the right side, and you're going to roll on that right side, just on the right side. Your left butt cheek is pretty much off the roller. And then pause, and then you're going to open and close that right knee. Good. Pause again, and then bring those knees in. We'll go to the other side, and then you're going to tip those knees over, and you're just going to go back and forth. So again, your right butt cheek is off, and you're just right onto that deep hip. Back and forth. And then pause. Open and close the bottom knee. And then come all the way up. And then go ahead and sit on the top of the roller. You're right on top of the roller. I want you to push that roller back and pull it underneath you. And then push the roller back and pull it underneath you. One more time. Push the roller back and come underneath you. If you want to do more, go ahead and do more. So as you push that roller back, you're going to stop for a moment and you're going to lower your right elbow to the ground. So you're going to lower that right elbow down. And I want you to notice that you're right at the femur. So the femur head, outside head of the femur is here, and your hip bone. And you're not going to be on either one of those bones, and you're just going to be on your side. So you're a little bit more on the outside of the hip. So you're back and forth on that hip. So you're more towards the outside edge, but you're not quite all leaned back. So you can see how I'm kind of halfway on the ground. Back and forth, and that area might be real tight. Good. Back and forth 2 more times. Once more, and pause. I want you to open and close that bottom knee. Nice. Extend that bottom leg. You're going to roll towards the roller and back. Now, if this makes any tingling, popping, any problems, go ahead and pause and don't do it. You can just stay in the last one we just did. And then you're going to take your top hand to the top of the roller and just kind of scratch that hip back and forth on the roller. It's a direct shear on the roller. Pause and let the tissue respond. Bring yourself all the way up, back to the top of that roller, and then you're going to again do that big rinsing pass. All the way down, push up and back, all the way down. It's almost like a big swing or a big movement, and all the way back. One more time, all the way down and all the way back. Good, let's do the other side now. So we got to reset our position. My mat's a little bit fracata. So I'm just changing sides so you can see me a little bit easier. Remember, we're going to be deep on the outer part of the hip. So I want you to lower down that left arm. Move the hips maybe more towards the center of the mat, between the greater truncator, the outside of the femur, and the top of the pelvis, and you're down on that hip. If you want to have your hand on your knee to help you, do so. If this bothers your shoulder, I want you to lift yourself up a little bit and see if you can do it with yourself up a little bit. But then that might bother your wrist. Back and forth. Good. So right there, pause, extend that bottom leg, and you're just going to roll in and roll out, roll in, roll out, in and out. Let that top knee roll over the bottom. 2 more. And last one. Good. And then shift back and forth. My hand is on the roller, and I'm just kind of pressing my hips back and forth. Pause, bring my bottom foot in, and I'm going to clamshell my bottom knee. So I did them a little bit out of order this time, no big deal. And then pause. Let the tissue respond, and we're coming all the way up again. So one more time, we'll get onto that roller, and then our hands are in front, and then our hands go back behind. Hands come in front, and hands behind. Couple more times. And last time. Good. So you're all the way off the roller. I want you to drop into your knees, okay? So you're all the way off the roller. We're going to do a side hip motion. So for some of you, this is going to be a little bit painful. I don't want it to be, but it can be. So you've got that roller underneath your hip. You're going to lift yourself up. So you're on the side. Your bottom leg is straight. Your top knee is bent. And I want you to lower over the roller. And then I want you to and reach then. You're going to bend the bottom knee and then straighten out the top leg. And then again, kind of like in the rib movement, we're going to take that top arm overhead. So from here, you're going to roll towards and then away from me. Reach that top leg out. Tuck that pelvis under. Kind of pull that pelvis towards the front of your roller. Take a big deep breath. Inhale. And then exhale. Bend the knees, your little bit of a fetal pose, and bring yourself up. We're going to do the same thing to the other side. So just take that roller, move it over. Again, you're going to be up on the roller, right on the outside edge, kind of right where you were for that outside hip. Bend the bottom knee. Take that top arm, lower. You're going to keep that bottom knee bent, and you're going to take that top arm over your head. Reach. Exhale, tuck the pelvis in as much as you can. Really curl that pelvis in as you take your arm over your head. Take a big deep breath. Inhale. Lengthen through that back or top leg. And then release that top hand and release and come back up. Take the roller out from underneath you. And then let's reset onto the ground for a rest assess. Legs are out. Arms are down by your side. And just drop into the ground. Notice just the body. Notice how the hips settle into the ground. Rib wall sunk. Shoulders may feel even. Feet may feel dropped out. And then let's go back to the neck. Turn the head to the right and left shoulders. And notice if you feel the evenness in as your head moves to side to side. Good. Go ahead and slide your feet in so your shins are vertical. Roll yourself to one side. Bring yourself up. Our last treatment is going to be a neck treatment. So we're moving all the way up, away from the legs, and we're going to do the back of the neck. So if you have glasses on, sometimes it's easier to take your glasses off, even though you may not be able to see me. So this is up to you. So go ahead and just lay on your side. Let your lower arm be out from underneath you. And I want you to start actually with on the back side of your ear. So you're kind of in a half position. So your top shoulder's slightly back, your bottom arm is down, and you're just going to allow your head to rest into just behind that ear. And I want you to make a circle with your nose, like you're drawing a circle on that wall in front of you. Just circle gently. And then you're going to push and pull your head back and forth. And then pause and let the tissue respond. And then you're going to move the roller up. So it's right along your jawline. You can even turn your head slightly into it if you need to. And again, this time you're just going to head up and head back. Slight circle. Right on that TMJ. And then again, pin the skin in and shift the head back and forth. And pause. And then let's take the roller up. So the roller is really just a little bit outside of the temple, but not right on it. And so the arm on the ground is nice and soft. And then again, just circle. And then pause, pin the skin in a little bit and pull back and forth. Don't force your head down too hard. And then pause. Go ahead and come all the way up. I'm going to take the roller to the other side. And then you're going to lay on your side. So the back side behind your ear is what's on the ground. Your arm is extended out, so you're not laying right on that shoulder girdle. And get that back side of the neck right on that roller. And then again, you're going to start with a circle. Good, and pause. And then push and pull the head forward and back. And then pause. Just let the tissue respond. Close your eyes, relax a little bit. Move the roller up onto that jawline, right maybe where your glasses would have been. And again, you're going to just make a circle. You can also pause and open and close the jaw. That's a little shear. And then again, press and pull the head back and forth. Good, go ahead and pause again. And let's make the roller go all the way up towards the temple line, but not right onto the forward side of it, kind of behind. And again, a circle. Just kind of holding that roller in place. Pause, and then pin the skin, move back and forth. And then pause again. Take a nice big breath. We're going to roll all the way to the back. And I want you to put the roller right at the back of the head, so right about the hairline. And you're just going to lift the chin up and drop the chin. And lift the chin up and drop the chin. And lift the chin up and drop the chin. So the roller should be moving, but it's because your head is pulling it, not because it's sliding. Go ahead and pause, and then nose towards the ceiling and just kind of a figure eight. Watch that the roller kind of slips sometimes. And then pause. Drop the chin to the sternum all the way down. And then take the roller out from underneath you and lay yourself all the way back. And then we're going to go through one last rest assess. Laying onto the ground, arms out wide. And we'll directly take attention into the head. And notice if you feel like the neck maybe feel a little bit more plumped up. It could have brought some attention into the neck to where there's maybe kind of woke some things up. There could be some tensional pull and it's going on inside your neck and head, or it could just soften everything in your face as well. Arms are by your side. Close your eyes and let's go inside the body. The beautiful thing about self-care is it's that. The more you connect, the more you restore, the more you are able to put these movements together and or time and breath together, the more you'll feel and more you'll be aware of how you've affected your own body. Exhale. So starting at your shoulders, notice your shoulders if they feel more centered, more drawn back to the ground. Arms if they feel more evenly weighted to the ground. Taking a focused breath, take your attention down into your rib wall. Notice if that back arch feels like it's more centered around your navel. Taking your attention into your pelvis. Notice if your butt cheeks feel more evenly weighted to the ground, less weight focused in on the sacrum. Do your hamstrings feel like they're touching the ground, and do your feet feel like they're dropped east and west? And then divide the body in half. And notice if you feel that balance between the right and left side returning. Take a nice long deep breath. Inhale. And exhale. Slide your feet in so your shins are vertical.